In the end, the district attorney decided to refile charges of criminal gang conspiracy and shooting from a motor vehicle against Drakeo, as these counts had originally returned a hung jury. Shooting from a motor vehicle is a crime that could see Drakeo facing 3 to 7 years in jail, but with the gang enhancement, that criminal gang conspiracy charge, Drakeo was once again facing life in prison, even though he'd been fully acquitted on those original murder and attempted murder charges. This was a dirty move by prosecutors, who were essentially holding Drakeo in custody for a crime he had already been acquitted of. If the jury had already found him innocent of murder and attempted murder, it was quite the stretch to suggest that he had still shot from a car and been involved in the conspiracy, but clearly the prosecutors had a grudge against Drakeo after losing in court over the main charges. And of course, if keeping Drakeo in prison after he was acquitted wasn't enough, prosecutors also made sure that during this time, Drakeo was still held in solitary confinement. But somehow this didn't stop Drakeo from still managing to get access to a phone and tweeting about his case, with Drakeo taken to the net in September 2019, telling the world that he was essentially being charged for the same crime that he got acquitted for a few months previous, saying enough is enough, and acknowledging he knows detectives are just trying to get justice for the victim's family, but surely his acquittal and Kels's conviction would mean something to prosecutors. It didn't. And the cops would do everything they could to keep Drakeo in jail after his acquittal, with Drakeo's lawyer later telling No Jumper in an interview that he believed that the cops and prosecutors were seeing Drakeo as a trophy.
It's a trophy. He's a trophy. You know, a big fish for them to try to take down.
Because you know they're humiliated because they didn't get him the first time around. So they're like, oh, let's double down. Let's really go for this again.
Drakeo's new trial was set for August in 2020, meaning that he would have been in jail for over a year following his acquittal for murder. It's truly crazy when you think about it. But fortunately in the end, after so much bad luck and an additional year sat in jail unjustly, Drakeo would finally catch a break, as the LA County District Attorney who had had a vendetta against Drakeo, Jackie Lacey, would end up losing her job, partly the result of a terrible track record, refusing to prosecute a number of police shootings as well as Harvey Weinstein, along with her own husband even catching headlines for threatening to shoot and kill BLM protesters. So in November 2020, a new district attorney would be on the scene, potentially looking to save face over just how badly Drakeo's case had been handled. And after this change of administration, Drakeo the Ruler ended up being offered a plea deal from the new DA who dropped the original gang conspiracy charge that had saw Drakeo facing life, allowing him to accept a guilty plea for shooting from a motor vehicle, a crime that he continued to deny, saying that he was essentially forced to plead guilty for a crime he did not do just to get out of prison.
So you took a plea deal for a crime you didn't commit?
Basically. Like everyone else that takes crime, plea deals for crimes that they commit, take gang enhancements, take stuff.
So after a cumulative 3 years battling for his life in jail and quite literally beating the death penalty, Drakeo would finally be a free man again. But hell, on these dangerous LA streets, even being free wouldn't be easy. Because upon his release, Drakeo the Ruler would be returning to a snake pit, as the LA rap scene that he had left behind all those years had flourished, with Drakeo's former enemies building strength and new alliances while he was behind bars. Meaning that when Drakeo was released, he would have to fight for dominance in the rap game once again. And considering just how dangerous LA's street rap scene is, he'd be risking his life every step of the way.